Hey, hey, happy Tuesday, or whatever day you're watching from. Welcome, welcome. I have a question for you today. Hot Topic Tuesday. My number one question is, are you a marketer? Now think about that before you answer to yourself, because if you are a home-based business, if you are a business where you offer a product or an opportunity, if you are in network marketing, or if you are an affiliate or any home-based online marketing, you're a marketer. So yes, you are in marketing. Yet, let me ask you a question. Do you, or those that you work with, your colleagues or your company, are they boss marketers? And what I mean by that is, are they relevant in the year 2020 and looking forward and building that way? Or are they perhaps stuck in the past, right? Welcome. If you're new to the page, I'm Emily Smiley, and I am super passionate about helping home-based entrepreneurs and network marketers and affiliate, whatever kind of digital marketer you are, build your online skills online and on social media, leveraging and automating and using systems. Welcome to Hot Topic Tuesday. All right, so today's topic is why marketers ruin everything and why you need to be one. I'm excited about this one today. All right, so I want you to think about what you know about marketing. If you go back, not even that far, right? The internet has only been around for about 20-something years. Don't correct me if it's exactly a little more than that. It's about 20 years, right? It's not going anywhere. We are literally in the middle of a kind of newer revolution as far as technology is concerned. And if you are not on your game, you are going to get left behind. I honestly believe, in my humble opinion, that that is a fact. So what are you doing to stay relevant in your business? Otherwise, you will probably find yourself regressing or being out of business or working yourself to the bone, harder, not smarter, right? So if you consider just the internet alone, think back to the days. Now, I'm old enough to remember before the internet. Some of you may not. I am not by any means a millennial. I'm between the, I don't even know, I'm the one they don't know about, right? Between the baby boomers and somewhere in the between the millennials. But we all know that the internet is here, social media is here, and it's not going anywhere, right? There's a shift. So are you staying relevant in your business? Now, when people used to build their business, they used to what? Maybe print an ad. Like I know and have worked with people that have said like, oh yeah, we used to have to like pass out cassette tapes or VHS tapes or DVDs or, you know, whatever. I've been in the fitness industry long enough. I literally remember like teaching a class on a cassette tape, right? It hasn't been that incredibly long. Yet before that, people would build their business by running ads in the newspaper, by printed ads, by printing flyers, right? By doing all of these things. Maybe a billboard, which is a giant. Maybe it might be in radio. If you remember, you know, listening to radio things back before you could stream it, right? And there might be commercials on, or TV. If you think back to like old school cable and TV, where we used to watch the commercials. My husband and I were joking about the fact that our kids are never going to know what it's like to have to like run back and jump over the couch to get back to your favorite show before the commercial goes off. Why? Because things have changed. Times have changed. Our culture has changed. And where are people looking? Every single day for most of the time, they are looking at their phone. So if you are in marketing and you run a business, where do you need to be the most dominant? Where the people are. And where are the people? On their phones. So if you are building a business and you are not getting in front of people, however that may be, via on their phone, and I don't mean talking on their phone, I mean actually on their phone, right? On social media, then are you relevant in your business, right? People used to spend all of this, you know, money, and now it's like, why would I waste my money putting in a print ad? No one's gonna read that, right? I mean, I'm a teacher. Listen, I love books, but people always bring that argument around like, are books relevant, right? With Kindle and everything that's downloadable and audiobooks, right? So if you're in marketing, where would you put a lot of your time and energy? a lot of people are doing dumb marketing strategies because they're still building old school instead of learning the skills and how to leverage some of their time in building new school or newer strategies, right? So think about it. When you're watching TV, and I don't know, my husband gives me a hard time, right? How many of you guys never watch a commercial, right? The only reason why I would ever watch a commercial is A, if it's in the middle of a live sports broadcast, or it's the Super Bowl, which is probably the only time all year I actually ever even watch a commercial, like on purpose. And those people paid millions of dollars for a 30-second or 60-second ad. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have millions and millions of dollars for 30 seconds of someone's time. So what could I do to get in front of more people? Now, if you think about this, a lot of people understand the idea of needing to get on Facebook or Instagram or even TikTok, right? But the reality is they're spamming. Because how many of us have ever actually been ticked off, right? If I drop the remote and actually have a commercial play, right? It's irritating, right? If my kids don't hand me that remote fast enough so I can buzz through the commercial, I might get irritated. Why? Because I don't want to feel sold to, right? I don't want to feel spammed. Yet most people in marketing are annoying people and spamming them and selling without their permission, which is what is annoying. But the reality is you should fall in love with marketing your product, yourself, your personal brand, your opportunity, or whatever it is, right? You need to be a fast mover. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, move to where the people are, right? I remember when people would say, you cannot build your business on Facebook. I also remember when people say, oh, Facebook is like done, it's over, right? But what has Facebook done? They've stayed relevant, and most people produce quite a bit of amount of money in marketing themselves or their business or their personal brand or opportunity on Facebook. Why? Because Facebook has gotten with the times and they have stayed relevant, right? Think back to like, hey, if you're jumping on, let me know where you're tuning in from. Thanks for hanging out. I want you to think back to Blockbuster. Now, we went on a road trip, this last summer. And we literally were like 5 minutes away from the last Blockbuster. So I told my husband, I go, we got to take the kids by Blockbuster and explain to them that we used to have to drive to the store, pray that the new releases were out, run to the shelf, check behind all the boxes, and hope to God that the movie that we wanted to watch. And this is mind-blowing for our kids. Why? Because they don't know any different than streaming and Hulu and TiVo and on demand, right? Apple. Like, they don't do that anymore. And we had to explain to them, right? Like the Rush, if they didn't have it, you run up to the desk and see if someone had returned it, right? And then pray that they were Be Kind, Rewind. Do you guys remember that? Be Kind, Rewind. Why? We explained to them that we used to have to do that to watch a movie. And they're like, oh my gosh. And then my son asked why the return box. And I was like, that's because you got charged an arm and a leg. But what happened? Netflix came out and said, oh, well, let's start streaming these so people can download and watch them with easier access. Now, the reason why Blockbuster went out of business was because they did not stay relevant. We never saw a streaming Blockbuster, right? You couldn't go on blockbuster.com and figure out how to do that. And yet they literally stood steadfast in their ways in saying people would prefer to drive to the store. They enjoy holding the movie and talking and meeting with their maybe they've met up with their friends or their neighbors or someone around. They enjoyed the experience, right? Instead of creating more options and marketing and staying relevant. And what happened? That literally, we were told, was the last Blockbuster that was open. And it was old school, it stank in there. And I was like, wow, I can't even believe this place is still open. All right, why do I tell you this story and how the hell does it apply to your business? Because there are people and businesses that have built old school. They're the Blockbuster. They've been around, right? And they are steadfast in saying, no, build traditionally, invite people, have the presentation. I'm not knocking any of those things if that's how you choose to build. But I created this page because I want to be the Netflix, not the Blockbuster, right? Why on earth would I drive to a store and hope that it's there when I can guarantee to save time and money, right? I'm not having to drive there if I can stream it. You've got to stream. You've got to be the Netflix marketer in your business. And when you do, people are going to appreciate that you've saved them time and money, right? Now, I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, I work from my phone." And I've been there. And they're phone calling. But how many of us, and be honest, ask yourself this, if someone calls, does it annoy you? Now, I used to say no to this, right? Because I'm not like, hey, I remember talking on the phone and when it was still plugged in the wall, right? But now we what? We text. Why do we get annoyed when someone actually phone calls us? Because we don't want to take the time to speak to that person. Now, I'm not saying if you don't need to, or they reach out, or they ask to speak to you, but are there other ways to get your message, even your voice, across without having to talk to them on the phone? The answer is yes. Are people using that? Is that where people are, right? In mini chats and Messenger? Yes. Are people doing videos on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok? Yes. Are you seeing and hearing the audio from that? Yes. Then why do we insist that the only way to build and duplicate your business is by doing phone calls? Now, hopefully some of you, if you do phone calls and you're connecting with people, which is cool, you're texting, hey, is it okay to call you, right? Because I don't know about you guys, but if I see a number on my phone and I don't know who this person is, I don't pick up. That is the reality of today's. Hey, Linda, thanks for hanging out. That is the reality of today, right? So, when I first started in network marketing, I was told you need to do phone calls. And I used so much time and energy connecting with these calls when in fact, now I'm building a different business differently. And it is game changer because people don't want to be on the phone, including myself. And if it's my business and I don't even want to speak on the phone, how do you think your customers feel? Is there another way that you could convey the same information through to them without having to connect in live time, right? Because now my business is literally all over the world in different time zones, which is amazing. But I don't know about you guys, I have a hard time connecting the United States, 3-hour difference, right? Or even if you count Hawaii. So how in the world can we make that easier for people to reach out to you, to connect to you? The answer is that you've got to be relevant. You've got to be relevant in your marketing and you've got to be relevant in how you're building. Go where the masses are, right? Because people are making emotional decisions in their business and even their companies, especially in network marketing, because they're refusing to change. They're saying, this is how I've done it. We think that people still want this experience and we are going to stay this way. That is being the Blockbuster instead of the Netflix. That is being the yellow taxi cab when people want to save the 4 minutes and get an Uber, right? I don't know about you guys, but I would rather be Uber, right? So are you staying relevant inside your business, or are you saying, well, this is how I've done this and this is what people want. We need to connect with them. We need to talk to them. They need to hear our voice. You can do all of those things inside video marketing, Messenger, Zoom calls, connecting with people that want to connect to you, but without saying, well, my customers aren't on social media or they aren't on, TikTok or whatever. Most people now that are taking selfies, more than half are women over 40. That's a fact. So it's like, you can't really even say that older people aren't with the times, because for those of us that are over the age of 30 or 35, right? Technology has slowly taken over. How do you communicate? Think about what you do. Are you on social media? Are you texting, right? Instead of calling? If the answer is yes, then look at your business in the same light as a marketer, and how can you effectively market what you offer using that same guideline, being the Netflix instead of the Blockbuster. Because a lot of times people just don't want to stay the same because they don't want to delve into the unknown. Now, is there a risk involved? Sure, there's a risk involved. But for me, I got tired of the replicated activities over and over, repeating myself. And now with the community and the mentors I work with, they're like, if you have to repeat this more than twice, automate it. Automate it, right? So if someone asks about a video and you've already done it, shoot them the video. If it's about your product or your services, shoot them the video. Why on earth would you go through and explain and be the presentation every single flipping time if you're trying to reach the masses? It's not a good use of your time. So instead of, so many people are wasting dumb marketing strategies instead of automating and leveraging some of it and honestly learning new, right? Too many people are holding out on old systems and they're regressing. Their businesses are slowing down. They might have become stagnant, right? Or even backwards. And a lot of leaders, big leaders, have burnt out completely because the energy required to maintain that big of a system or a team without having automated it is exhausting, right? So think about how we watch commercials because, like I said when I started, marketers kind of ruin things because we used to go to the movies and all you would see is the previews, right? Now you go and it's half an hour of commercials. Why? Because they know that you're sitting there and they know that it's going to get in front of you. When you get on the internet, how many of the light boxes pop up with different ads and different things, right? Then it was Facebook, and Facebook now has what? Sponsored ads and posts. Instagram, same thing. People are going to build that way. Why not you, right? If you do not have a business page where you can run sponsored ads and sponsored posts, I highly recommend that you change how you're looking at your business, because even people that are not millennials are slowly recognizing our world, people want to have their say. They're on Twitter, they're on all of these social things, right? So before you tell me to buy your thing, right, you need to think about how it is that you're marketing, because you got to get people's attention. So tomorrow's video, I'm going to talk about why you need a business page, the specifics of that. So if you have any questions, reach out. I'd be glad to answer it in that video or behind the scenes in Messenger. That's totally cool. Because you need to market effectively. You need to market on social media. It's not pitching the same thing to your personal friends and audience. If you're trying to reach the masses and the masses are on social media, then how do you get your name, your brand, your product, your service, your opportunity out there to the masses, right? Because even billboards are probably not as effective. Why? Because people that are driving are barely even paying attention, right? Hopefully they're not on their phones, but every passenger, my daughter literally was on her phone the entire last road trip that we did. Why? Well, because, and even my husband and I were like, well, we used to have to look out the window and do this and do that. And we actually had a point where we had no radio, no this, and we played the old school alphabet game. How many of you guys remember the alphabet game? And my kids were like, what is that? We had to explain it to them. Why? Well, because they can entertain themselves in that car ride. And usually I'm totally cool with that, right? Whatever makes a car trip go faster. And they're on their phones. And the reality is it's not just teenagers or millennials. Everyone is on their phone more. And to leverage your business, to be a boss marketer, you need to reach the masses. And if the masses are on their phones, that's where you need to be. That's where you need to market yourself, right? Add your 2 cents and get their attention. So I've got some really fun lives coming up about how to get their attention, right? Because it really is about getting people's attention now. That's why you see commercials in different places. So I had a story I was going to share with you guys, but honestly, I don't know if you guys watch the Goldbergs, but I watch it on demand. And it was talking about a 2-hour timeshare pitch, right? I don't know how many of you guys remember, back in the day, timeshares. And people would sit through a 2-hour pitch to get whatever was offered at the end. And my husband and I were joking about the fact that you probably couldn't pay people enough to sit through a 2-hour sales pitch. Why? Because of supply and demand. We are pitched to so often that we literally would rather pay double for an Uber to cut off 5 minutes of our time. And I'm guilty of this, right? I don't care if it's a free shuttle to the airport or the hotel I'm traveling to. I'm going to pay for an Uber because it comes right now. And that's the reality for a lot of people, right? They just want to save that time. And so you've got to help people save time. Save time for you and your business, save time for your customers and taking care of them, save time in the prospects and the people, you know, that you're marketing to, and showing them a better way, a more relevant way to market, because that matters, right? Because if you think about it, after like family and health and wealth and, you know, your money, people's time is valuable. And so honoring that and showing people a different way and being that Netflix, as we've said, instead of Blockbuster, is smart marketing, right? Is working smarter, not harder, right? Because if you don't want it, then they don't want it. And so that's what I've started changing in my business, and it's really been a game changer. If you want more information on social media recruiting, go to emilysmileylive.com and go to the products page. There is a social media recruiter on there that is amazing. It goes through how to market and ad team on social media specifically. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to me, let me know. It's so important for your success in building online. And tune back in this week. I'm going to be sharing about building your business page and how to get some of those things automated inside your business. In the meantime, have a great day and crush it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.